Life is like a box of chocolates, you just never know which one you're going to get. According to Forrest Gump, that was a great line in the movie, but it's actually respect that is required. But it's actually all about respecting people like Gump, people of difference, and ourselves, and that's what we're looking at here, so that we can get others to treat us in the right way. And it's respect that Stanford research has shown that is educated to us from a very young age. As children, we respect the laws, families, cultural traditions, religious ways, and also each person we should meet. This is ingrained on us, or at least it should be, through education. The first thing we need to do if we want people to treat us properly is we need to know our boundaries. If you don't know thyself, how can you expect somebody to treat you properly? I'm not even talking about treating you well or treating you badly, but knowing you a little bit, knowing your boundaries. That's the way you should be treated, be it good or bad. You will want to be respected, naturally enough. So if you are waiting, watching and wondering how you can figure that out, look at self-reflection first off. Take time to understand your own values and your preferences, and then that will lead to your boundaries. You'll figure it out in that way. You'll probably have to go as far as your limits and see what you're really comfortable with. Everybody likes a little bit of something, that's fine, there's great pleasures in life. But if you can determine what behaviours, even actions or treatments that you can attach to your feelings, then you'll be able to put that out there with regard to, stop, this is my boundary, respect from here on in. Now, having a stop sign is one thing, and that's okay to do that, but naturally we're not going to be carrying one around in our pockets, are we, or our handbags. But if you can communicate this and your boundaries in a proper manner by being assertive, that means you can clearly and confidently express your thoughts, your feelings, and of course then your boundaries. I mean what I want to say. Now, I'm not being angry by saying that, but that's an I statement that's very confident, that's very direct and good eye contact, relaxed and sure facial expression. So by communicating the needs with the I at the start, you're showing ownership of your feelings and your attitudes towards what it is your boundaries are. There has to be limits set as well, and consequences if people go past them. Now, I'm not talking about being a vigilante or anything like that, but I am talking about expressing that within your I statements, within how you see the world for you. Because if people start coming at you and treating you badly all of the time, and for whatever reason, be it through work, relationships, money, you're caught in a situation and you cannot overcome it, you need the outcomes of what this person represents, well then you need to be able to communicate the consequences, and they can't be that positive either if this person continues to treat you badly in such a manner that is totally disrespectful and irks into your boundaries. You'll then have to model the behaviour that you find acceptable. So reinforce and enforce these boundaries. Consistently doing so will follow through with consequences when necessary. Now, even if you are reliant on a person for whatever representation they have in your life, you can get others to support you around you, and they will do it on your behalf if there is a sticky situation at hand. People will try to prod and they'll try to say, oh gosh, maybe they don't really mean this. So if you're consistent, that's a really good way of showing that this is the way you are. Now, by being consistent in every day, every hour and every week and month and year, that will show that that's your behaviour, that's exactly your line, that's how you are. But with regard to consistency under pressure, that might take a little bit more practice. However, getting the right people around you will help you no end. By ensuring your actions align with your words and your boundaries consistently, others will observe this and let you be. Try to avoid mixed messages as well, because if you're sending out these mixed messages, it could confuse others and they're not too sure, and if they really want to be around you for whatever reason, professional or personal, they will hope and perhaps push over that boundary a little bit more. You, me, we all have to have self in front of that word respect. By doing so, we are valuing ourselves, and this recognizes our worth with value, and we can expect others to treat you and me with the same respect in return. This is beyond religion, this is beyond politics, this is beyond anything that's kind of cultural or global. This is more humanity. Now, if you prioritize self-care and look at your emotions in a healthy, objective manner, look at your mental well-being and your physicality, then people will have more respect for you. So set boundaries also to protect your time. It's a very valuable asset. And your energy as well. These are things that we don't tend to get more of. You, me, all of us have to show empathy. This world is devoid of it. By showing people, before you even really know them, respectful ways, they are more than likely to reiterate it back to you. There's a funny thing in communication where most of what we say is not really important. It's more the body language and the energy of a person. So even, oddly enough, people with a different language, from a different culture, different age group, people that we don't really chime with, have huge amount of rapport with. Funny thing is, empathy, if you push that back out, they will go, wow, they're respecting all the differences. They don't show as much fear. And so they in turn will try that back to you. And then there's a universal communication going that goes much deeper than all the words can be said. Be empathetic and understand others and have their boundaries central to your needs and to your communication, so that your needs then in turn will be fostered and a mutual respect will be there. Even though people might not have your language, and maybe it's the first time you're meeting them, even if you do have the language, if it's personal or professional, if you can encourage open communication, things will be far better off for them and for you. Put your cards on the table, so to say, with regard to what you want, how you want it, how much you want of it, what you're willing to give to that other person, what's your trade, what it is that they can perhaps want or ask of you. Be transparent. Create a safe environment by fostering this environment where you're open and there's honest communication is encouraged and valued. More people look up to honesty, and they want, even if they're dishonest or have been dishonest in the past, they want to improve. They'll admire that. They'll see that as a big leadership way. So by you doing that, you're opening out the ability to listen actively as well. And they will in turn perhaps listen more towards what your needs are as well. So practice in your way active listening, where others may express their needs and their boundaries, so that it's an empathetic listening chasm that's going on here in a very good manner. Seek support if you need it, right? Because we're not all islands. We do need other people around us. That's the beautiful design by Mother Nature of this human world, in that we all have some things to give and some things that we need to take. So we all need each other. So reach out for help. If you're struggling to assert your boundaries or feel your needs are not being met, well, seek support, right? Look for families, or even if you have to go beyond friends, to a therapist, to a professional, that's okay. They're used to this. Another way of doing things is join a community. There can be a supportive community, plenty of them online. I've run them myself, and connect with others that feel or chime in with your feelings too. By being firm, you're articulating and communicating to others, this is me, I'm stuck, right? I'm not going to budge from this. That's not being like unattractive. That is just being true to yourself. And people will admire that. They'll go, wow, how, like, they're putting themselves at a disadvantage. They don't understand my point of view. But if your boundary is your boundary, that's it. Maybe you will put yourself at a disadvantage in the future, and you can explain that to them and say, look, I could regret this, but here's how I feel right now. Here's how I feel from my view of things, from my point of view in the future. And so, yeah, maybe I will grow in the future, but right now, no thank you very much. Know when to walk away, and do this in a calm manner. Be sure of things that you say and do. That's really what's going to be good for you in the future. When you, if you do end up in a challenging situation, maybe you're tinging on regret, recognize that at that time this was a toxic potential relationship. So if someone is consistently disrespecting your boundaries, or say treats you poorly, even though you had great efforts to communicate Consider where the relationship, or whether the relationship is worth fostering or going forward with. And maybe looking back, it's not just perfect rose-tinted glasses or 2020 vision. Maybe you were right in the first place. That's the little bits and pieces now within this video. So take them, put them into place in your life, and it will be all good. Communicate back to me. I'd love to hear how it goes, and please hit that subscribe button, and you'll get more if you value this video. I sure as heck do value you. So thank you for watching, and please do have a wonderful day.